Thank you so much. You're welcome to Let's Talk About It with Flakkie. My name is Mabel Foluke Irukera. You can call me Flakkie, you can call me Foluke, you can call me whatever it is, but it's Flakkie on this program. And that's what I would prefer that you address me as if you need to. But whatever way you choose to address me, as long as we're on the same page, that's all that matters. You're welcome to our program. This is a Christian content, the contemporary Christian talk program, and we've been doing this for a few years. Our desire is to talk about the areas that we don't necessarily get people to dwell into, to talk about, to delve into, and issues that are occurring around us, the things that we are going through that are not necessarily addressed when you're in a church setting or when you're in a gathering with friends. This place is a safe space. You can feel safe and be able to share and know that nobody's going to make fun of you. Nobody's going to look down at you. And like I always tell people, if somebody shares something that is deep and you make fun of them, yours might be right around the corner because life is about mountains and valleys, and we never know where that curve is going to turn. Our desire is that God just keeps us, and helps us every step of the way. So, once again, you're welcome to Let's Talk About It. And this edition is our February edition, it's our Love Month edition. And we're going to be talking about knowing before the knowing. Knowing before the knowing. As soon as we sent out the flyer, like many times that happens, but we get more traction on certain topics. As soon as this went out, I was getting messages from people like, I'm going to set my alarm, I'm going to be ready. And I know that you're all here now, and some will still join us. Please, one more time, remind somebody. Life gets so busy that what they desire to do at times it just keeps the mind. It happened to me several times. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I missed that program and I didn't mean to miss it. So please help somebody else. Mm, Struggling a little with a cold and cough, but I'm good. But I'm good. God will help us through this. So knowing before the knowing, how was last month's edition? That was amazing. That was really amazing. Without the smell of smoke. And I don't know how many of you recall what that was about. That was talking about us living our lives without looking like what we've been through or without smelling. Smelling now means not just the physical smell, but that people don't just see you or hear you or feel you, and they can feel so much anger, so much hatred, so much unforgiveness. So that was what last month was about. And I pray that all of you that joined and those of you that will still go back and check on YouTube and follow you, get something from it. Because there's nothing like going through life without smelling like smoke. We have experiences, but you don't have to carry those negative experiences with you. There's a way to deal with them. And we talked about that at the last edition. But today we're looking at knowing before the knowing. So I will ask you, when you heard that, what came to your mind? Knowing before the knowing, what came to your mind? Was it excitement? Was it a phrase? Was it a sentence? I want to interact with you. I want to know what came to your mind. Once you write it out there or mute yourself to speak, um, our hosts are going to be able to do that. So unmute you. What came to your mind, knowing before the knowing? Do you want to write it out? Please go in the chat. You can write it out. Knowing before the knowing. What came to your mind? Where nobody's a blank slate. It's not possible. When you hear something, when you see something, there's um there's that second where something goes through your mind. So what went through your mind when you heard or when you saw the flyer, knowing before the knowing? What went through your mind? What went through your mind? Please share with us. It's important that we get to hear this too, because at times, the phrasing of a topic, the way we put it it might not um send the message that we're trying to send out. So when we get feedback from you, it helps us. What came to your mind? And Carol, as the messages come in, please do us the honor of reading them out. If there's any message on YouTube, our YouTubers, thank you for being here. For all those on YouTube and those that will still join, thank you, thank you, thank you. Those with me on Zoom right now, can you write it out? Does anybody have anything written yet? And we'll get to read it out so everybody would see, everybody would hear it. What came to your mind when you saw the topic, when you saw the flyer, or when you heard the topic? Knowing before the knowing. Why are we quiet? Let's talk about it. It's not a quiet program. We know that. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So, Carol, please, can you read out the messages? I'm trying not to disrupt my setting.
So Muti has said, I wish I knew how to navigate this phase of life before getting into it. Navigating blindly has crazy consequences.
Hmm. I wish I knew how to navigate this space of life before getting into it. Navigating blindly, that's crazy. It does. It really does. Thank you so much for sharing that. Knowing before the knowing. What came to your mind? We're still waiting. We want it to be interactive. That's what Let's Talk About It is about, really. It's about the interaction. It's a gathering of, we said in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. I'm learning from your experience, you're learning from mine, other people are sharing their experiences. Last month, somebody shared a very emotional experience with us, and we all took something away from it. And today we're back. We're back. And it will always be like that. We'll always have, things to share because no human being is a blank slate. Nobody's empty. You have experiences to share. You have things to talk about. And many times we don't share because we think that is not relevant, but you'll be amazed that there's somebody on the platform that needs to hear what you've been through, how you overcame, or how you're going through it, or what led to it. You just never know. And that's why the Bible says clearly, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. There's safety. Anybody else? All right. So, well, when you look at the meaning of knowing in the dictionary, so the dictionary meaning of knowing is it's just what it is. It's like it says to know a person means to have personal, often deep, not always, often deep understanding of a person's character, their personality, their values, and the things that make them themselves. When you say knowing, so that's what it is, a knowing. Knowing someone, it just means you know about the person's values, you know their character, and the knowing has different levels. So I might just know of somebody, meaning that I know of this person, meaning I've heard the name or I've read or seen, but I don't know the person, on a one-to-one basis. So, oh, I know of her, I know of him. That's different. And when you say, oh, I know you, and you're like, oh, really? You say, yes, you went to the same school with me or something, meaning a different level of knowing. Then you go on to even a higher level when you say, oh, I know my mom, I know my aunt, I know my friend, meaning that you have several interactions. There's something that you have learned from your experiences with them. It's a different, so there are different levels of knowing, different levels of knowing. And today the topic is knowing before the knowing. So clearly, this time around, we're talking about a marital relationship going into marriage. We're talking about those that are in dating situations, courtship, and we're like knowing before the knowing. What do you need to know? What should you know about this person? What should you know about the kind of life they want to live with you? What should you know about, their values? What should you know about their finances? There's so much. And the reason we're talking about this is that, look, at the end of the day, nobody has come up with a better idea when it comes to man and woman relationship. And that's marriage, and that's God. He came up with it. So whether it's failing in so many ways or not, there isn't a better idea. So, and it's not failing because God failed. It's failing because we're not doing it the way He has asked us to do it. So that's why it's failing. It's not failing because, oh, that was an olden day idea. That was from 2,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago. No, it's failing because we're not following the manual, the way the creator of marriage has said we should. And one of the things that we need to do is to know the person before we do the knowing. And the reason why this is so interesting is that when you look in the Bible, so the knowing before the knowing is here. In the Bible, repeatedly, you would see that phrase, and he knew his wife, and Adam knew Eve, and this person knew that person. And it's always a man and a woman. And in that instance, it's talking about a sexual kind of knowing, an intimacy that comes with sexual relationship. And in the world we have today, when you say people are in a relationship or they're getting married, many times they have known each other biblically before they even got to know each other. And that's one of the problems that we're having. That's reality. Because you're not getting to know the person before you get to know the person intimately, sexually. Are we on the same page? Are we together? Because reason is we're carried away by the emotions. People are spending more time figuring on, oh, how this person looks, how they make me feel, and they're not thinking about who this person is. Yes, even in church, they're not thinking about what are the values he carries? What are the values she carries? What have you seen the person angry before? What will how do they respond to issues? How do they relate with your family? Knowing before the knowing. A few years ago, someone very close to me, like a sister, went on a date. And she went on a date with somebody. I'm giving this example so that you understand what I mean by knowing before the knowing and what are the things we're supposed to look out for before you now go into the knowing, which is the marriage, saying I do, walking down that aisle. What do you need to know? So she went on this date with this person, and during the date, when she came back, I was talking about, she said, I don't like the way he treated the waiter. So they went to eat. She said he was rude. He was, and she tried to stop him and say, calm down. And he was like, no, he's here to do a job. I don't know why he's not. She wasn't comfortable with it at all. She wasn't comfortable with the way he treated that person because that showed her some parts that she was not going to be able to handle. Obviously, she didn't go on with the relationship and they're not together today. She doesn't have any regret about that particular person and that issue because she thought and said to herself, if he treats people like this, he's not going to be able to demarcate. At some point or the other, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be me, and he would treat me like that. Are we getting this in? Knowing before the knowing. Many times, actually all the time, except it's an arranged marriage, most of us get to know the person. We get to understand. We have opportunities to know the person before we actually going into the knowing. We have opportunities. We have different setups, and yeah, that we could get to know this person in our interaction with them, in the interaction with other people, even the person being on the phone. You can tell a lot about the person, even the way they talk on the phone to other people that you don't even know. It could be the way he responds to his mom, it could be the way she talks to her mom. There's so many ways, or how she treats a friend. Is the person loyal? Are they faithful? Are they kind? What do we need to know before we get into the knowing? What do we need to know before we say, I do, and go into marriage? That's what we're talking about today. Many young people and older people that are married already too, and older people that are not even married, or those that are divorced or separated, will look back and say, I missed that. I saw it, but I did not click. I did not, click on it. That means I missed it. Does it mean that those that are in marriage right now, or those that are currently married, does it mean that the things they're not dealing with? Of course not. Even those that are married are dealing with things, and they're saying, knowing before the knowing. Yeah, I wish I knew this about this person. I wish I knew how they would respond. I wish I knew how she would act. A friend of mine was sharing an experience about a young lady that wanted to get married to to her brother. And the way she acted towards his siblings, the way she acted towards his siblings made the guy very, very uncomfortable. But after doing the research and all, I found out that she doesn't have a good relationship with her siblings. She grew up in a way that she didn't have any attachment to her siblings. She grew up in a way that they didn't stay. So they are from a close knit family and she's not. And so she wondered why his siblings and him interacted like that. If they went on to get married, that would be an issue. Unless one of them is willing to shift. And many times in marriages, people shift and it's not always positive. Knowing before the knowing. What do you need to know about a person before you get married to them? Most times we're thinking about the dates, we're thinking about, and then when the proposal comes, oh, how are we going to do the proposal? How is he going to propose? Everybody's head is up in the air, especially in this month of February, especially in this month of February, Valentine's Day and all that. They're not thinking so much about who this person is. I don't want to talk for very long, but I needed to put that ground, put it all that out and put like lay a foundation so that we understand what we're talking about today. Let me read this out. So when the Bible talks about knowing, it's an intimate sexual union, like the Bible in Genesis 4:1 says Adam knew Eve, okay? Like an intimate sexual relationship, but also a relational knowledge. Excuse me. It's also a covenant commitment. So it's not just a matter of, oh, I know this person, oh, they make me feel good, and then, hey, we're getting married, hey, or we even jump in bed before we get married, or, oh, okay, we'll wait, but we're not. You do know this person. Do you know him or her? You can't know a person exclusively by themselves. You have to know them in relation to family, in relation to work, in relation to values, in relation to um, career, in different ways. That's how you get to know a person. No person is just by themselves. Nobody's like just that's just who she is. No, there's something. There are people. There are aspects of their lives that let you know who they are. If you get what I'm trying to say, okay? And so that's what it is. So when the Bible says that he knew his wife, that's now the ultimate because it teaches us that when two come together like that, they become one. And when they become one, it means that there's a dwelling of, different things, coming together in the two of them now. And that's why we're very excited and careful about this topic. Knowing before the knowing. Knowing before the knowing. There's mutual unity. When you come together, one thing is going to give. You're going to either compromise on things or somebody would lose something to the other because that's maybe a superior argument, or maybe the person has a stronger character, or maybe whatever it is, you have to realize that once you come into the marriage, it's no longer just you. And that's why it's important that when it's still just you can get to know the other person and say yes or you say no. Many times now, people talk about, oh, people spend so much time preparing for the wedding and not the marriage. And that's true. I've heard that repeatedly and I've seen that too. You spend so much time just preparing for that day. But the marriage is lifetime. That's what it's supposed to be. But that wedding day is just one. It's just a day. Even if it's a week, guess what? It's a week out of a lifetime, whatever it is. So, which one should we prepare for more? The lifetime or that week? What should you know about the person? What should you know about the person before you say yes? All right. I'm gonna share a story very quickly. But before I share that story, does anybody have anything to say? Anything at all, please? Um, because we're learning from each other's experiences. Okay. Yeah, so if you'd like to speak, please just raise your digital hand or I'm not gonna mute you. I've laid the ground, I've laid the foundation for this. So we understand the difference between knowing and the knowing now. We know one to lead to the other and not the other. Because at times people get into their knowing. That's the sexual relationship before they start getting to know the person. Error, gigantic mistake. Because only God can correct that. Because if you are not happy with what you have, then well, you're there. You're there. It's better to know the person and then make a decision about what you want to do. You want to be with this person or you don't want to be with this person. I know that the pressure is there. Many times the pressure is there for people like, oh, all my friends are getting married, my cousins are getting married, and all that. So, well, nobody's perfect. I'll just take him. Yeah, nobody's perfect. We know that. None of us is. And no marriage is perfect. But there are some values that you need to align on. There are some tables that you both need to be on top of, not one person on the table and the other one under it. You need to be on the same platform. There are certain things. Are there going to be differences in marriage? Yes. Are you going to align with every single thing? No, because you're from different backgrounds and you have different experiences. But there are core things that you need to be aware of. The core, the core. So what happens? Well, we had counseling, we had all that, and yet we're here because many times we don't talk about the important things. We're afraid to broach those things that might break that relationship because we're already at that stage where we just think, hey, let me just get married. But the most beautiful time to talk about just everything and anything is before you say the I do. A million times, a broken engagement is less traumatic is than a broken marriage. That's reality. Is it painful? Yes. Is it traumatic? Yes. Is it damaging? Yeah. But less than a word if you're married. Because in marriage, a lot of mingling has already occurred. A
We
lot.
have a hand, man.
All right. Somebody wants to say something?
Yes,
Hello?
ma.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I like that. Okay, so who is it? And what do you want to say, please?
Yeah. I've tried to make a checklist of what youngsters, both young men and young women, should be looking out for, and this should occur during courtship. That's the knowing before the knowing, because this is very important. Once this step is skipped, it's just like a airplane that already slipped off the runway, and you know what that consequence is going to be. And unfortunately, this is a one way. There is no, once you have gone into it, the consequences abound. In ignorance is no excuse. The consequences will still come. And so it's always very good to be well educated and to know about this knowing before the knowing, before going into it. And that's why I really credit my sister for this topic. It's very expository, and youngsters that have the ability to have this kind of lesson before going into the knowing are very, very privileged and lucky. So I'm going to go to my checklist. So courtship is not the time just to play around and to feel happy and, butterflies afloat and just appreciate the fact that you're with somebody and all you do is just play, go out on dates, eat, party and all that. No, you should be like an FBI agent or a CIA. You should be journaling. You should
Like
have your notepad each day. And before even accepting to go on a date with somebody, what are you looking for in this guy? You got to have your own list. You got to know yourself, have your own credentials, and you're looking for these credentials that align with yours in this person so that you're not going to be unequally yoked and then you're also not going to be wrongly that's the same thing as unequally yoked, so you get your match. So I'm going to get to my list because I don't want to take everybody's time. And the first thing you have to look for is this person God-fearing? Is he God-loving? Is he God-obeying? Because that is the platform that both of you, no matter how different you are, that is a unifying platform because the word of God is always the same. And so if we are able to go back to what does God say about this, how does God feel about this, you would always have a solution. But in the first place, if you go with somebody, he may just testify with his mouth that he loves God, but do you see it in his life? Does he
mm,
obey his ordinances? And right after that, the next thing you want to look for is empathy. Is this
empathy.
is this person empathic? That is the part that makes us humans. If this person is very selfish and only looking to him to get his or her own needs met and doesn't care about you, can throw you under the bus to get anything that will be satisfying to their own self, then this is a wrong road.
Mm,
Empathy cannot be manufactured. Once
okay.
it is missing, it is missing. And that is what makes us human.
Mm,
Without empathy, you can't be kind. You'll be very selfish.
yes.
And that is why you cannot afford to rush into this. So courtship should extend. And during that courtship, you've made your checklist and you are checking off every of your point. So I have a lot on my checklist and I'm going to move through it a little quickly so that I don't take everybody's time. So another thing to look for is awareness. Is this person self-aware or just
Mm,
behaves anyhow
mm,
or just talks anyhow? You got to make sure that this person is aware of his or her behavior. In the first place, you have to be self aware because if you're not self aware, you can't even find out if somebody else is not self aware. So, once both of you are operating on the same platform, you're going to be careful with your interactions with people.
mm,
And you want to watch this person's interaction, like my sister just said. How does this person relate with his or her parents? That's the first sign.
mm,
If this person is nice, kind, obedient, gentle with the parents, this person is certainly going to bring it towards you. But if this is a rude person that doesn't, adhere to the parents' rules, rude, disrespectful, the disrespect is going to come to you.
yes.
Next to look at is how does this person treat others?
Mhm,
It could be like my sister said, the waiter, it could be the housekeeper, it could be the Uber driver, it could be anybody.
yeah.
So one thing you have to know that you are next in line.
Mhm,
Because if the courtship is not long enough, this person can pretend
mm,
and put you on a pedestal and wear a
mm,
mask that you're not going to see all this. But guess what? It's very hard to pretend for a long time. So you want to be very cautious with rushed relationship. So if this person comes and is rushing, there's a lot of things under the carpet that they're sweeping and they don't want you to see. So as a youngster, I always encourage, take your time. Do
Mm,
not rush. Because all these characteristics we're talking about, it's just like Rome was not built in a day. You're not going to see it in a very short period. You have to take your time to be able to notice it.
mm,
Another thing is, like my sister said, the finances. Is this a partner to poverty or partner to prosperity? You want to be very careful about that because as youngsters, we don't see beyond our noses. All we see is the moment, oh, the fairy tale wedding, and all my colleagues are the pressure and everything. So you want to see 30, 40, 50 years from the moment. Where are we going to be? Does this person has a vision?
mm,
Does he have a plan?
mhm,
What is he aspiring to be? Is it
mm,
aligned with yours? So you need to know all this before you have to visit. Is it his school? Is it in the school he says he is? Is he working at the job? Because there has been cases where people have told lies that they went to a certain institution and they did not go anywhere.
mm.
They also said they work at a certain place and they did not work in that place.
True.
Just to be able to get a young lady or a young man and they
Yeah.
boast and brag. So you want to be very sure, and the only way to do it is to investigate. And that's why I said FBI agent. You want
FBI.
to be sure, does this person's intelligence match your own intelligence? Because the cases of both men and women. For men, it's even easier to marry somebody who is less intelligent. But for a woman, it has terrible consequences. Most of the cases, at least 90% of the cases. And so you want to be sure that you are getting apples for apples or oranges for oranges. You're not mismatching or bending down too low to pick a partner. Is this person emotionally mature? You
Mm,
don't want to get a baby. Somebody who would just throw a tantrum at every little thing that goes on. That could be very frustrating, especially if you are emotionally mature. And it doesn't come with age. So
yeah.
you want to be very careful and watch out for that. Is
Yeah.
this person safe to be with? Is he polygamous or polygamy minded? You can know. There's some
Yes.
people you'll be with, even young ladies or young men, every young lady, everything in skirt or anything in pants passes by, they're looking, they this, they that. And then before you know it, you're looking at their phones, you're seeing all kinds of messages, you're getting all the heartbreaks. Why don't you do this before going into the knowing?
Mm,
Yeah, so those are things you need to watch for. Somebody that's already hiding his phone from you during courtship is a
mm,
no-no. It's a no-no. Or they have to be you guys have to be very transparent. So anybody that is not transparent, just cross that person off your list. They're going to the north and they end up in the south. And then
they
you're
won't.
like, "Ah, but you told me you're going to the north. How come you're in the south?" So this person is not transparent. So commitment and consistency. Consistency leads to commitment. Is this person consistent? Is it is this person blowing hot and cold?
Mm,
If it's hot today and cold tomorrow, no. So this is part of what you should look for. And comes apologizing, it becomes a pattern. So you're
mm,
looking for patterns in behavior. So if the pattern is not going too well with you, you're getting hurt, and then they come again and they make you feel happy, and then it's like a roller coaster up and down. So you're kind of not having the confidence to move forward. You're scared. So that is the way God is telling you, oh no, 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 no. This is not. Is this person loyal? Are they disciplined?
mm,
So those are things you should look for. Are they responsible?
mm.
Responsibility is not only in doing. When they say they will do something, do they keep to their promises? That is
Ah,
part of being responsible. Just keeping promises. Oh, I'll call you at 5 p.m. today. Did this person call at 5 p.m.? And it becomes a pattern. Then you know this person is not responsible for even keeping his own promises. When it comes to bigger things, then that's going to be a very big issue. Are they accountable? Are they accountable? Do they take responsibility for wrongdoing? Do they say, I'm sorry? There's some people that never say, I'm sorry. You don't want that. Instead,
That's
they'll turn the blame. They would not accept the fact that they've done anything wrong. They will turn it on you.
true.
So these are things you have to look for. Honesty. Are they honest? When they tell you something, can you vouch for it? Or it's always a lie and you find it out later. These are things that can really break somebody's heart after you have gone into the marriage. So you should look at this. Another thing is, are they clean? Their
Ah,
appearance? Go to their house. If they living where they say they live, go there and see. Are they clean? Because that behavior is not going to leave them. So if the young man or the young woman is not that clean and and you are a neat freak, that's going to be a big problem. You're a cleanliness, you're Mr. Clean or Miss Clean itself. That's going to be a very big problem if you don't find that out. Another thing is keeping fit. Does this person just let him or herself go? Just eat, and let go, and the gym has no meaning? The day you say you're going to the gym, he or she's going to think you're going to look for another partner and you're going to go cheating in the gym. And it's going to become a very big issue. So make sure that you guys are standing on the same platform on that. So I still have a lot, but I see I'm taking a lot of your time and I don't want to take the entire time. So please,
thank
um,
you.
yeah, adhere to this and more. It's a job. It's a job, and you have to do it nicely. Thank you
Thank
so much. Thank you.
you. You guys, you says, oh my goodness. Nuggets and nuggets and nuggets there. So much, so much. Oh, I was taking notes as you were speaking because, like I tell you, at the beginning of every let's talk about it, it's in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. Your own experiences, my exposure, yours, and the experiences of other people that are close to us. Because at times you don't have to experience it firsthand. You could be a second-hand experiencer, and you can share. But see, you said so much, knowing before the knowing. Going as far as saying you have to be an FBI agent. And you know what? That's kind of true. That's kind of true because I remember there was a man that said we had let's talk about it in a physical setting, and he said, "Don't ever marry somebody or say yes to somebody. Don't marry them. Don't say yes to a relationship where you haven't ever been in the environment they live in." He said, "Go to their streets." He said, "Go to their place of work." Just what you were saying. He said because they might not be who they're making themselves out to be. So I agree with that. FBI agent. And she said so much. I'm sure you all got something from that. Even the alignment of your intelligence, that's real. That is so real. Yes. FBI dating. My sister has given us a new one. FBI daters now. You have to check it out. And honestly, for me, I, I, I can't even say much, much more now. She said a lot. She said a lot. She validated some of the things I had said already, and she brought new things on board. It's important that we check out the person. We check out the person before we take any other person's comments. I want to read this out very quickly, and this is um from somebody. This is from somebody. Are we good to go? How's YouTube doing? Our YouTubers, how are you doing there? Any comments? Any comments, Mr. Okmola? Who's on
No
YouTube?
comment yet, ma.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I don't know who's on YouTube there, but please, we need to hear from you. Don't stay away. Don't be mute. Thank you so much, sis, again.
We
So,
we have we have 11 people on YouTube at the moment, and
okay,
we have another hand. Do you want to take another contribution before you go into the story? Yeah.
okay, all right. Let's take that quickly then. Let's
All
take
right.
it before I share this person's story. And if you have a question, please, it's not just about sharing. If you have a question regarding this topic, please feel free. You have a question, you have something that bothers you that you're not certain about. That's why we're here together. Nobody's perfect and nobody knows everything, but hey, multitude of counselors, there's safety. All right. So who do we have here? Hello. Oh, we can't hear you yet.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing? We can't hear you yet.
Okay, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you now. So who is speaking? Who do we have here? Your first name is fine.
Yes, my name is Mrs. Tejosho.
Oh, sis, thank you for being here.
Hi.
Hello. Looking forward to hearing this. Okay, so sis, hit us with it.
Okay, I've been listening to you, and honestly, I appreciate and understand what you're saying. I know that we have to let our children and our younger siblings know that yes, some people pretend a lot. When they want to start the relationship, they're very nice. And
Mhm.
then when they get into the relationship or they get married, they show their true color. You said that it's good to visit their homes. I agree totally with you because it will show you the kind of interaction they have. But sometimes they are able to mask that interaction. So you
Yeah.
need to do it more than once. You know, you can catch them unawares, and that really helps to show exactly who they are. The other lady said, "Oh, if they're dirty, you know when you go to their house. If you come announced, they will clean the house before you get there and prepare for you.
That's true.
But if you come unannounced, you will see them in their true color.
Mm,
You need to know who their friends are. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. The kind of
true.
company that they keep. If they
Thank you.
keep company with people that are smoking marijuana, misbehaving and doing all those bad things, or pretend as if they're different, you need to be
Mm,
very careful. That's a red flag right
yes,
there.
yes.
Does that person function well in his office or her office? Does
Mm,
she or he have a good relationship, working relationship? You can't get
mm,
along with everybody, but at least when you go to the office to visit your partner to be, you
yes.
will see the way other people will react to you. If they
Ah,
react warmly to you, it means that that person is a good person at work. If they are reserved or cold, it means that that person, that's another red flag.
mm,
Kindness is very important. I always pray for my children that they will marry someone that is kind to them because
eh,
love is not everything. Love
mm,
is good to love, but
yes.
people love but still abuse their spouse. They're not
That's
kind to their spouse, but they
right.
love the spouse, but there's no empathy, there's no love.
Mm,
And I want to also remember that you cannot change anybody. Don't say that, oh, this person is abusive now, and that when we get married, he will change or she will change. You cannot change a human being. That person must be willing to change.
yes.
And it's not your duty. You are not that person's mother or father
You
to
know, they are
change that person. You are not their parent.
yes.
Their parents should be the one to work on their children. The Bible says, train up your child in the way or she should be. And when they grow up, you will have peace. So I think that those are some of the things that people need to look at. You cannot change a man. You cannot change anybody. That person must want to change.
So
And
true.
it is not your duty to say, okay, I'll marry him and I'll wait for him to change. You have your whole life ahead of you to enjoy and
Yes.
prosper and, do things, be an achiever.
Yes.
You want to marry somebody that is
that is a dropout in school and does not want to do anything, then be ready to feed that person.
Forever.
And forever, because that person has shown that the person doesn't want to try. So, I mean, your parents send you to school, you have a master's degree, you have a PhD, and then you decide that is some, I don't know, that's not the portion of our children. But I'm just saying that you have to look at what you are doing and what you are getting into. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sis. I'm so glad to have you here. And those are beautiful nuggets. Honestly, that friends one, nobody had even mentioned that. You have to know the friends. Thank you so much. You have to know the friends, and you cannot change anyone. And most times it's we as ladies that think, when he gets married, I will change him. When he gets married, when we're together, he will change. No, nobody can change anybody. So please, um, our young unmarried ones, know this. She has said this. You can't change anybody. It's either you accept what they are, who they are, take the status quo as it is, or you move away. Just move on. If you're not yet married, it's even easier for you. Like I said, a broken engagement, broken relationship, much better in dealing, for you to deal with than a broken marriage. Much easier for you to deal with. It will still be painful and hard, but please. And then the pressure of, oh, my friends, everybody's getting married, so me too, I need to do this. Don't fall for it. Make sure it's that right person. Make sure it is the right person. Thank you so much for sharing, Cesar. So we have two ladies share now. When are the men going to start sharing? Because we know that marriage is about two people and it's opposite sex according to to what God has told us. So it's a man and a woman. So where are the men going to speak? Do we have any comments to be read out, Carol, before I go and share this person's message?
Yes, ma. So AA said that very true at FBI dating, and someone may be good on all fronts, yet not godly for you. Discernment is key. And then lastly, she said, we are an average of the company we keep, so the circle of influence is important.
That's true. That is so true. You can't keep saying, well, I'm different from all my friends. It's going to sneak in on you. You'll become a bit of that one way or the other. All right. Thank you so much. We're moving on. It's nearly an hour in. And we have to share this story here and sent in. So please listen well because we'll learn from it and we'll also be able to cancel her. What should she do now? But more than what should she do now is how we can learn from it. And I'm looking forward to my single speaking. It's people that have spoken are people that are married. So I'm looking forward to our single speaking. What have you noticed? What have you experienced? Have you had to break a relationship because of something like this? What was mentioned today that you said, wow, I think this is the situation, but I'm not addressing it. I'm not looking at it. Because many times, many times, not always, as like we said, it's some people are good at masking. But many times you actually see some things, but you turn your face away from it, male or female, because you just want that person. All right. So she said, I stared at the clock, watching as the minutes ticked by, each one a reminder of the emptiness that has become my marriage. 17 years, 2 kids, and a life that looks perfect from outside. Say, but behind closed doors, it felt like we're strangers. My husband, the man I once couldn't get enough of, had become such a mystery to me. I don't know his passwords, his fears, or his dreams. The only thing I know is that he listens to his sister, Rachel, more than he listens to me. She's always in our house, not physically, but she's always in our house in every other way. I look back at our 3 years of dating and courtship, and I wonder what I missed. Rachel would call, and he would change his plans, rearrange his schedule, and do whatever she says. I would ask him why. He would shrug it off, and she says, she's my family, my older sister. And I ask, what about us? What about our family? I have stopped asking because it makes no difference. Our finances are a mess. We both work, but he earns more and spends more. Always buying new gadgets, designer clothing, weekend getaway with friends, mostly on credit. I'll try to talk to him about saving for our children's future, but he'll just laugh it off and say, don't worry, I got it covered. Or, babe, you cover that. Reality is, it's not covered. We're drowning in debt. I'll catch glimpses of our bank statements and my heart would sink. No savings, no investments, nothing for the kids' education. We barely get round to paying their school fees every term. And that's because I'm paying it. Just a mountain of bills and reckless spending. What did I miss? I asked myself again. How didn't I notice all these flaws? And sex? Forget about that. It's been months. I take that back. Years. I've tried everything. Seductive lingerie, candlelit dinners, even therapy, which he refused to attend. Nothing, no response. We are not intimate sexually, and we're not intimate in every other way. So tonight, as I lay in bed, feeling defeated, I whisper to myself, is this it? Is this all there is? The tears fall, and I let them, wondering if I'll ever find my way back to, wondering if I would ever find my way back to us, or if it was time to walk away. What did I miss during the years of courtship and dating? This has driven me to talking to singles about taking those years more seriously. I thought we had a good relationship and did the right things, but now I realize we didn't pay attention to the deep things, or I didn't pay attention to the deep things. Flakkie, please address this to the unmarried on your platform. Thanks, Regina. Oof, that's somebody's story, but that's somebody's life. That's somebody's situation right now. And she's putting it all down to not knowing before the knowing. She's like, what did I miss? You're free to pass a comment about this. What should she do? Or how can we prevent this? How can we make dating, courtship still exciting, but at the same time, our FBI hats are on? You know, when my sister said FBI, that thing has stuck in my head now, like FBI. I'm going to be telling all my singles, male and female, you have to be FBI, but not FBI in a suspicious way that you're so untrusting, you're always looking into, everything is a wrong vibe. No, but you have to protect yourself before you get into it. Once you're in the marriage, protecting yourself is very tough because you're already mingled in. Especially now, she has 2 children, she has 2 kids. Finances, zilch. Sex life, zilch. Intimacy, zilch. Like, what is this? What kind of life is this? But she says she puts it all down to not paying attention to the right things. Many times our dating, our courtship is about going out. We went to that restaurant, went to this restaurant. This is fine. I don't want you to be bored. I don't want you to be unexciting. But are you talking about the real things? Do you talk about money? I take marriage counseling classes, and I like to talk to them about money. You have to know how the person handles money. Are they just are they trying to keep up with their keep up appearances? Are they trying to keep up with the Joneses? Is that what their real thing is? Well, this person has this, I have to have that, and you don't have the money for it. You know, you have to be aware of that. Or whatever it is that they're going to spend on, I don't know, you're not even aware. Do you share? Do you share? And it's from the time of courtship. Are they hiding everything from you? What's the relationship with their family? I spoke about that young lady who didn't understand, why the guy she's married to now was so distant from his family, because she was so close to hers, and she didn't get it. And like, why is it like that? But she went ahead. They didn't dig into it. And now, every time she wants to go be with the family or say something, or even with his family, because she wants his family close, he doesn't understand it. He gets angry, he gets upset, they have issues. They could have handled this before. Because, yeah, maybe family has hurt him, but maybe her coming into his life was that avenue for him to get healed. They have 2 children today, but those 2 children don't even know the grandparents. Maybe they know of them, but they don't, because the guy doesn't think that they need to go and see their grandparents. And that has now affected her own family too. And they're just thinking, why is this girl not coming home? Because that's not what the parents want. We need to pay attention to these things. We need to pay attention to these things. All right. So I just shared Rachel's story with her permission, obviously. And because she wants me to talk to our singles, especially about knowing before the knowing. Because hers is about not knowing now before the knowing. She's stuck there, she's crying, and the secret tears that we cry that people would not even get to know about. She said something, she said on the outside, it looks perfect. But there they are dying in debt. There's no intimacy, physically, mentally, emotionally, there's nothing financially. And guess what? Those children are suffering it already. And most times we don't know that, but the children, there's no way that interaction will continue, that the children will not be able to, and the children will not be losing, the children will not be suffering from it. So it's not until they're physically sick, but they are learning things that they should not have to deal with, and they're seeing these things. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The court is open for anybody's about to come in now. You have a comment, you want to talk about Rachel, you want to talk about your own experience, you want to talk about somebody's experience that you know. Did they break up with somebody because of a reason? I just spoke to you about, I told you about someone that's like a sister to me that went on a date, and she said the person was so rude to the waiter. And she said, I can't do this. I can't. Because I know one day it might be my mother, it might be my father. All right. So Carol, over to you. I can see messages coming in, so you can read them. And then those that want to share, please. What do we need to know? I've spoken about finances. I said finance. We need to. The first speaker said the first responder, person that spoke as well, said about finance. We need to. And finance. See, for those of us that counsel people in marriage and all, there are 2 things that have broken marriages the most. There are many reasons, because so there's abuse and all that, yes. But 2 things, finance and sex. Finance and sex, you will not believe it. Of all the reasons that marriages are broken up, 2 things stop, finance and sex. So we need to pay attention. We need to pay attention. All right, Carol, over to you. We have messages to read out. And then, Dami, do we have anybody to unmute? Mr. Okwanla, are you on YouTube? Do you have any messages for us there?
Okay, so for Zoom, AA said Jesus fasted 40 days, 40 nights, and it was the devil that showed up first. We need to be very sensitive after we go on prayer retreats or fast. The first opportunity that shows up is not necessarily your open door. The devil masquerades as an angel of light.
Hold on,
okay.
that's a deep one. That's a deep one. Wow. Because it's very tempting to think that, well, I've just fasted, so this person might just be it. The devil showed up first. Okay, now. My singles in the house, aunties, uncles, mommies, and daddies, if they are not here, are you going to take it back to them? All right, go on.
Inge said that would love to hear the men's side. Then Lolita said, question please. Please, what's the difference between giving privacy and FBI, that's checking phones and all? In a relationship, you just want to go into. Speaking out in a relationship speaking out in bracket just wants to be heard, and he calls it a nagging. Please, can this be counted as a red flag?
Okay, hold on. So I want to respond to Lolita when she says, what's the difference between
Privacy and the FBI thing, that's checking phone and
okay.
all.
Okay, so let me say this. People need to have their privacy, especially when you're not yet married. They need to have their privacy. That's the truth. It's only after marriage that it says naked and not ashamed, meaning you can't even hide anything. It should not be. Okay. But when you're in courtship and all, it's the person's response to your inquiry that will let you know whether they are hiding things. Why is the person so uptight about letting you know where they're going, about who they're going with? So when you're trying to, but if you're putting too much effort into it, that in itself is a red flag. My darling, if you're having to monitor, to check phone, to ask his friends, because this is the lady speaking, to say where did you know, that's too much energy being wasted. You're not even married. That's too much energy being wasted when you're having to pursue the person with so much vigor, so much energy, and they are being resistant. No, it's not worth it. Yeah, you might get married to them, but would you continue like that? Not everybody has that stamina. And then what happens many times is that they just start existing. It depends on the kind of marriage you want. But while you're not yet married and you see those things, that's a red flag, my darling. When the person is so resistant to sharing information, even in marriage, I talk about that. Why can't you just share? There's nothing like I don't have to tell you. I don't know. If there's nothing to hide, then you should not be resistant. It's when there's something to hide, that's when we begin to play games with it. All right. But I'm saying to every single here, whether you're male or female, if you have to put so much energy into monitoring the person you're with, that's a red flag. So it's either they don't care about you as much as you care about them, or you're doing too much. Like that generation says, you're doing too much. All right, there's another question she asked.
Yes, that she just wants to be heard, but he's taking it as nagging. So is that a red flag?
My darling, yes. You know, when the first lady spoke, she said, how does he respond? She was talking about, I want to look for the exact words that she even used because I was writing things down. Is he aware? Yes, self-awareness. Is he aware of how he interacts? So if everything you do is a nag already and you're not yet married, red flag. If you're trying to say, I just want to be heard, meaning that your voice is being stifled already, you're not even bearing the misses, and your voice is being stifled, you can't speak. You can't say anything. When you're married, that's the kind of person that's going to say, you see, the Bible says a man should submit to his wife, a woman should submit to her husband. You are a very recalcitrant woman, you're a stubborn woman, you are this, you are that, without playing his own part. Where the Bible says a man should love his wife like Christ loved the church and gave his life. So if you're not married to this person yet, it is a red flag when your voice cannot be heard. My prayer is that nobody's voice will be stifled in their relationship. You should be able to air your point of view. Would it lead to an argument? Fine. It's better to argue about things than to be silent and just be filled with resentment. Over time, if you keeping quiet, what will happen is resentment will build. bitterness, anger. You say, oh, these people after 35 years, they got divorced. They're like, what happened? It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. It's systematic. It's been there. It's been there, building. Okay, so that's a red flag, my darling. Thank you. Back to you, Carol. And please, with regards to what I'm saying and the comments that I've passed and the questions that are being read or comments, anybody can respond to them as well. In the multitude of counselors, there's safety. All right. Carol, please give me the next ones.
Muti said she missed checking off the following points on her FBI list during courtship.
I didn't hear that.
Loyalty.
That
Muti,
was
she said she missed checking off the following points on her FBI list during courtship.
okay.
Loyalty, finances, accountability, sincerity, ambition, or goals. These are very important points.
Good job.
Then he said, no, she missed checking them during her
Oh,
own courtship. Yeah.
oh, she missed checking them. I thought she said oh my goodness, she missed checking them.
Yes,
God
ma'am.
is God of restoration. That one I know.
Then,
Restoration comes after a damage. Okay, but he's a God of restoration. All right, please go on.
then he said, when dating, I think couples should exchange their 6 months bank statement. that would that would tell a lot about where their funds go to. Following the money can lead to a lot of information.
Oh my goodness. You need to unmute. You need to unmute. You just can't put that on us like that. I know the person that wrote this. You can't just put that. We need to hear a man's voice. All right, but let her finish reading everything because you must unmute and speak. And 6 more, are we applying for a job? But oh, sorry, I have a friend, she's married now. She has three big boys. When she was not yet married and she was dating, we used to make fun of her because the first thing she lives in the US, we should say, what's the person's credit score? That was the first thing she would always want to know. She say, because I'm watching my credit seriously. What's his credit score? What's his credit score? Hmm, you know, and we used to laugh at her, but it's reality. Because many times when we don't pay attention to those things, it can drag you down. It can drag you down. And credit score, for those of us that don't live in the US or in a system where they don't use credit system, it shows how financially viable you are. So if you have a horrible credit score, it means that you have taken too many loans or you're not paying your debts properly. You're just financially irresponsible. So that's why she was always asking, what's this person's credit score? She would go and investigate them, and she would investigate credit score before everything else. Oh, all right. So please go on.
Then Pastor Yinka said, added communication, sex, and money. Then Daya says she has something to share. Hand is up.
Okay. So communication, sex, and money. Pastor Yinka has to explain that to us. So is that our checklist or what is it? So please, Pastor Yinka, you have to get ready to unmute and explain to us. Uncle Inyi, you have to do that. So and we need to hear from other men. But let's hear from who is the person now, Dayo?
Yes.
Okay, so because Dayo's hand is up first, let's hear from Dayo first. Dayo.
Well, can you all hear me? Good evening. I can have my video on, but can I speak, please? Because they've been prompting me to have my video on since.
Okay.
Yes, so thank you. Okay, my name is Daya Diwali, and I happened to stumble on the link on Mrs. Irukera's WhatsApp. I was just scrolling in the evening. I'm like, okay, this is something I'd like to attend. So I'm single, and I'll emphasize the fact that I'm single and I'm 46. And so to let you know that even though I mean, they will say he advanced in age. I still don't think that anybody should list bad behavior on any relationship. So you can say because you are 25 or you should accept because you are 40. No, bad behavior is bad behavior. It doesn't have two names. So I was introduced to someone who happened to be divorced, and I'm not maligning people that are divorced, but I was introduced to someone that was divorced when I was 44. I was actually on a holiday in Singapore when I was introduced to this person. And then getting back to Nigeria, we connected. And the first thing I noticed was I generally don't like people that talk about people a lot, talk about their exes in an undignifying way, and then you just don't even talk about the people you put names, no filters, no PR, none, nothing. Anyway, everything was fast. I guess maybe he found who he liked and he was more in a haste than I was. I was ready to like, let's do these things gently. I mentioned to my pastor at some point, and my pastor was very excited. Oh, he's going to pray along with me. I should bring person to church. I know, I guess maybe, yes, because of the age. I mean, I was 44 at the time. Everybody was really, really excited and happy. So it was beginning to cloud my judgment. I could tell from where I was sitting that, number one, this person is very hasty, talks much about other people. And I could tell that he did not really learn any lesson from his last marriage. When I asked him, what happened between you and your ex? Oh, I don't know what she said I did. And he kept on flogging the fact that he was a provider. Men tend to attach so much to provision. And then when they now get to the point whereby their provision does not make sense. It seems like they can't lead anymore, especially when they arrogate so much to provision. So when the woman is financially stable, you're not, your provision doesn't make any meaning to her. They become very insecure. So I'm like, wait, you just seem to have this provider mindset. Something could have gone wrong, and then I'm someone who listens to older people, especially older women that have been in marriages. And I remember telling a co-tenant in my complex then, I met someone and she called me aside. She said, Dayo, I'm happy for you, but I don't want you to get too excited. I want you to hold things in your hand. You see, when a man, even if he doesn't have money, but he has good behavior, a woman weathers the storm with him. Many times when a woman leaves a marriage, the man is not just because he doesn't have the money, he's badly behaved. So please, when you go and visit this person, please pay attention. So, like I said, this person was introduced to me while I was in Singapore. And he also visited Nigeria. So I went over to the US to visit him at the time. And that was where all hell broke loose. I saw bad behavior in every element. Bad behavior. He was still keeping alliances with his exes. They will call on Val's Day. And I'm like, what kind of person does not even know that when you want to meet someone else or prepare a future with someone else, you clean your compound.
Yes.
You clean your compound. You sweep it out. And I remember at some point I challenged him. This person that has the nerve to not just call you, but call you on Val's Day, call her back and tell her that, oh, someone is in the picture. And he could not do it. And for me, that was a serious red flag.
Yeah, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at 44, I packed my bags and I left because I saw someone who did not learn any lesson from his past. He had been divorced 20 years after marriage. So it's not how long you have been divorced. What did each day teach you? What did you learn? He was not self-aware. He was not accountable. He did not take responsibility. Everything was the ex-wife. So 20 years after, it was just numbers, it was just years. This was a man who refused to take responsibility. He was not self-aware. He claims to be a Christian, but I did not see the fruit. Not an iota of fruit, because my father is not even what you call the born again today. We have Baptist orientation. They don't use born again those days. But my father will lead prayer in the house. Whether you're an atheist in my father's house, he will call you. Everybody wakes up at 6. We must have morning devotion. Now, for a man who claims that he's born again, they plan to ordain him as a pastor, and then you don't call for prayers. I mean, the little things we do in the house, I'm the one who says, oh, let's pray, let's do this and all of that. So it was just very obvious that I didn't need to fast and break and no. I mean, some things are very glaring. And don't say because if I don't get married, I will walk in purpose. So I have established I mean, Paul did not get married. I'm not saying marriage is bad, but I don't know how many people that are married will have a fulfilling life like Paul.
That's true.
I
Very
don't
true.
know how many. I really don't know. So I've told myself that marriage is good. Will I like companionship? And that is the way I can raise kids. I mean, I understand there are many ways to have kids these days, but I choose to follow the biblical way. So, and honestly, it was a reality check for me that, stand your ground, irrespective of the age. If you're not married, there's a purpose why you're on earth. And keep fulfilling that purpose. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dayo. Please, could you just applaud her? Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you spoke up, because I said at the beginning that many times it's about it could be the age. You say, oh, she's above this age, so that's why just manage, just manage. I remember that a friend of mine said, you know, at this stage, all my parents are looking forward to is a man that just has a male organ. They don't have any other values, nothing else. He has a male organ, we can have children. That's all. That's all, and we're laughing about it, but that's the reality. So I really respect that you are able to hold your stand, take your stand and say, you know what, these are, because the reality of it is this: someone like that, 20 years after, no remorse or lessons learned, and then just holding on to, I'm a provider. And I'm sorry, the men have to speak up today. The men have to speak up, because many times, even women say it. They say, what is she looking for again? He, he looks after the children. There's more to life than just provision. There's more to life than just provision. And like she said, when it gets to the stage where the woman is able to provide for herself, then the man loses his relevance in her eyes. Is that what you want? That's not all there is to life. It's not just about provision. Thank you so much for sharing. If you're a young person on the channel, you're a single person on the channel, you have not you're not yet married, I'm sure you got something from that. Because even as a married person, I got something. I got something from that. And to be able to, as a counselor, receiving something to be able to share with others as well. Dayo, I'm really grateful. And I know at the right time, if it is God's will, that right person, there'll be a click. And you'll be able to look back and say, you know what, it was worth the wait. That's my prayer. And I'll be at that wedding by God's grace in Jesus' name. Okay, but not the wrong person. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And then saying you would live in purpose. Many people don't realize that the person that wrote the most about marriage in the Bible is Paul. And guess what? He didn't get married. In fact, one day I was joking. I said, may marriage not make some of us go to hell, because the amount of fights and rancor and bitterness and anger in many married people's hearts, especially women, it is going to take a lot. That's why when we have that topic in January, without the smell of smoke, many women, is resonated with them. Of course, it resonated with other people as well, but let's watch it. And then let's not contribute to the attitude of looking down on those that are not married. It's not a cadre, but not in the army that this one is higher than that one. No. Each person would walk their lane, they'll walk their path, and they'll fulfill purpose. And if marriage is there, it will happen. I have friends that are not married, and I know that I desire for them to get married because they desire it too. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dayo, once again. I'm grateful for having you here. And I'm so happy you stumbled on that link. You'll get the link directly next time. Thanks. All right. Anybody else?
We
Comments
have
about
two more. We have two hands up. We have I think Bola raised up his or her hand first. I don't
okay.
know who the person is. And then after Bola, Mr. E would come on.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for looking for this. And Dayo, thank you for what you spoke of and the things you said. They're very, very important. As a therapist, and I do couple counseling, and a lot of things that I see are the things that we've talked about today. And sometimes they seem very, very mundane or very, inconsequential, but at the end of the day, those are the things that really, really, really come to play. And a key thing that Dayo said was, and most often you'll see that when the couple come, it could be the man or the woman, the red flags were there, but sometimes we ignore them and we'll say, you know what, it's very little, I can change it, and maybe he'll change or maybe she will change. And I keep telling people that whatever you're seeing before the marriage and you feel it bothers you, just assume in your mind that thing is going to be forever there. It's not going to change. If it changes, just because we're not God, if it changes, there's a bonus for you. But go into that relationship and into that marriage, knowing fully well that thing is still going to be there. Can you tolerate it? Can you live like this for the rest of your life? And someone had spoken about someone saying nagging, and we talked about FBI. FBI doesn't mean you go to people's phones and check it. If you're in a relationship where you feel you have to totally sneak around and or do beyond, and like Folike had said, that's extra work. A relationship is work, we know that, but it shouldn't be a burden. It shouldn't be something that makes your heart so heavy all the time. So if you're in a relationship where you have to beg for the basics, beg for that attention. And when I say beg, it's not like you're kneeling down and saying, oh, give me attention. When you're hungry, you know how you go and search for food. You know how to feed your tummy when you're hungry. So when you're in a relationship, you should know how to seek that person, feed them, you know what they want. If you're not getting that, honestly, let's not overrate marriage, because sometimes we put so much into it and we think marriage is life and death. No, it's not. You can't get on your knees to get married and get on your knees to remain married and always be on the mountain. When are you going to stand up and enjoy that marriage? Marriage is supposed to be enjoyed and not endured. So if you feel like you're already in a relationship where certain things are not in place, wait for it. The right one will come. When it comes, it will click. I tell my children and I say to them, I'm like, you know what? And Foluke knows the backstory. I'm like, if we're on our way to the altar and you are telling me, Mom, even all the people, I'll just tell them, well, let's come back. We'll just say we have party time. Please come and eat and drink. But the marriage is not going to hold. But we're going to, even if the money is wasted, whatever, because I see it all the time. And Folike had said it, that you see someone 40 years from now, and particularly women, we've been trained to endure. So when you endure, you'll see women come to therapy in their 60s or 50 somethings. Just leave that from 50 and above. And all they have is resentment, regret, and anger, because most of what they needed to have done for themselves, they have invested into the marriage that still ended up ending. And you see the men thriving, the men really looking young, looking nice, living the best of their lives. So women should learn, or people, honestly, because this is not about men or women, because there are some instances where the men are also at the back end receiving this. People should learn to grow. If someone is not being able to encourage you while you're dating and so you want to do this, and then they go all out for you to try to help you, this person is, anyway, there's another form for all of this. But bottom line is that if you see something that doesn't seem right, please don't try to patch or manage it. And that doesn't mean at the slightest provocation you run, or at the slightest, you look at it, you watch it and see. If it's not tolerable for you and it keeps nudging you, bothering you, please know that that thing is going to bother you for the rest of that marriage life. And if this person is not willing to change, you deserve whatever it is that you feel you deserve, and you attract whatever you think you deserve. So if you're patching it and then they're telling you, oh yeah, you don't need to know that. Finances is very, very important, but people shy away from talking about it. Try to be, to talk about it, because again, like we've already established, is one of the major reasons people come to therapy. Finances, compatibility, look at your libido. Well, we're Christians, so you guys are not supposed to have sex before marriage and all of that. But hey, all I'm well, yes, but talk about those things. Anything that you need to share, talk about it. And don't, sometimes if you find yourself in the wrong place, don't blame yourself, because when you're dealing with certain people, they know how to pretend and upon you and do everything, and you think you found the right person. And at the end of the day, you find out that you just really made a wrong decision. But, again, we're Christians, so I'm going to leave it to the Christian community. If you're organizing something that is not churchy, I'll tell you the other stuff, but right now I don't want to get kicked out of this room, so quiet. Thank you.
Please, you will get kicked out. Be yourself. Just speak from the heart. And speak as a therapist. Speak professionally. Oh, she's disappeared. Well, say thank you so much.
Done.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Bola Odunlati Ajayi. And that's someone that appears on this program often, and she's just spoken. And I think one of the things that I respect the most is what she said, and that when you see that red flag, even if you are walking towards the altar, and you know that for the rest of your life you're going to be regretting this, I know it is painful. And even if you came to me, I'm sure I would have been scared myself. I'm saying, let's just go on. What is it? How bad is it? The reality of it is you're the one that will live with it. You're the one that will live with it. And you should not be in any relationship. You're not even married yet, and you're putting too much work. too much work. Marriage is work, but when it's too much work, your whole life, you're waking up, you're sleeping, but no, it means that there's something wrong. That's a red flag. But in relationship, in courtship, in your dating, what questions are you asking each other? What are you looking at? What are you what matters to you? What matters to you? The Yorubas have a proverb, but I don't even know how to interpret it. It said it's in the time of play that you know who it's when people are playing that you actually know what's in their hearts. For my younger ones that are my teenagers, I'm always telling because I don't encourage dating in teenage years. You don't know what you want already at that time. Your brain isn't even fully developed to say this is how it will be. Most people that date at that time have experiences and they can bring the garbage into the relationships that they actually end up with in marriage. And it's not the best, you know. But for those ones, I always tell them, you know, get to know people in a group setting. And so even for adults that are in dating and courtship relationships and all that, get to know them in group settings. You see them lose themselves, and that who they are would really come out. And when it's just both of you one on one and they are putting on, you know, they are forming you two, you are forming. You get what I'm saying? All right, you're putting on an act. That's what it is. All right. Comments? Carol, any comments? Anybody wants to speak? Thank you so much. I hope we're all getting something. If you're getting something from this, please do me a favor. Write something on the chat right now. Put a comment or put an emoji, put something, because we need to encourage each other. I need the encouragement to know that what we're doing is working. And at the same time, thank you very much. I see that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, we need to. We need to. We need to encourage each other. And that's another thing. Please don't date somebody. Don't be in a relationship with someone that does not even care about you. Someone that cannot encourage you. She said something, that's Dr. Bola Ozula Chajayi. She said something, she said, person cannot even support you, not support financially, but you have a goal. But instead of them encouraging you, they are trying to pull you down. You have a business and they're thinking, you won't succeed, Jerry, don't worry. Red flag, red flag. It means that that's knowing before the knowing. So it's a good thing that you know that. All right. Thank you so much. I see the emojis and the comments, and I'm truly encouraged. Thank you to all the people that have spoken as well. All right. We have comments, so we're going to have Carol read out the comments, and then Dami, you're going to get ready to unmute the next person. All right. Thank you. This is Let's Talk About It with Flakkie, and we know it's a multitude of counselors. We're all counselors. We're all counselors. Even if we don't have the certificates, we have the certificates from life experiences and exposure that make us co-counselors. And that's what the Bible talks about. All right, Carol.
So I'll just breeze through the comments on YouTube.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
we have God of Restoration. I think this was when you were commenting to Muti, yeah.
Yeah.
And she said, true, Hume, Singapore, 2025, yay. Absolutely. That was not only a red flag, it was a red country. This was when Daya was speaking. Strong red flag. You did well. Marriage does not complete us. Thank you, Dio. You did well, sis. A broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. True, far better. Amen. At the right time, the right man will come in Jesus' name. He was never married. True. Yes, red flags are always ignored. Exactly. Be ready to live with it in that marriage. Yes, this is very impactful. Red flag. Gang. Okay, then now back to Zoom. Muti said the credit score is very important. Even employers now check it before employing a new staff because it shows how responsible a person is. Olayinka says,
Please go ahead.
Olayinka says, so proud of you, Dayo Adewale. Then Muti said, a sense of humor, being ready for marriage, showing efforts and reciprocity are points that are very important. Check points too.
Yes, there are
And this
checkpoints.
session is very insightful.
Thank God. Thank you.
Arinola said this session is very insightful.
Okay, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the emojis and the encouragement. It means a lot. It means a whole lot. And I know that nobody's going to leave here without taking something with them. Even the counselors are going to take something with them that they're going to pass on to others. All right. All right. Dami, who are you unmuting?
Okay, I'm going to start with engineer, okay? And then
Okay.
after that, I'm going to go to Shike Ademi. And then after that, we go to Isoke. Thank you.
Fantastic. But please, where are the men?
Engineer, okay, is coming up now.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's go.
Lisa, you can unmute now. Engineer, okay, are you there, sir?
Okay, good afternoon. Good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma. It's been a while. I saw you in the church, and I hope everything's fine, ma.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for this topic you bring to us this evening. It is very a crucial topic that we think all our youth have to be attentive, because it's come across all the boundaries of life, knowing before the unknowing. So, what I just want to bring out in this evening is that love is not enough in any relationship we find ourselves. Love is not enough, because you need to be compatible. Love brings us together, but compatibility make us to be what to compatibility bind us together as a family. So if you say you love somebody, but you don't check the area where you are compatible, maybe financially, maybe spiritually, maybe intellectually, maybe career, you have to check all those areas, screen all those areas where you are compatible, because that compatibility is what binds you together for life. Is it the person that is teachable, or the person that is you can bind, you can blend, or a person that that he have a mentor that he can speak to, the person can speak to him and listen to them. So these are what is causing some of the errors we are facing in the family today. Because from my own experience, I can see
Yes.
that when we are in courtship, there's something that it always trigger us as a youth. When we are in courtship, that okay, it's fine. Maybe it's love at first sight. So we always check that one. We don't check the rest about character, his own behavior. So all those areas we have to check it so that we not fall into error. And also, for a lady, we should know that submission is intentional. If you are going to the marriage, you should know that submission is intentional. It's not something that okay, you have to say 50-50. So love will not be enough if in a marriage, if submission is not intentional.
Sorry, let me ask you something, engineer. Okay. So I agree that submission is intentional, and the woman has to submit to her own husband. But what about the part? So you have to. I think I always tell people that you must speak about the part before that, where it says that the man must love his wife like Christ loved the church.
Yes, ma'am.
So when that happens, submission is easier. And then when you go down further in the line, it says submit to one another.
Yes, I get you right, ma'am. But
Okay.
the area I'm coming is that before you will choose that's what I said first. Before you will choose a man to stay with, you have to check the area where you are compatible. A man
Uh-huh.
that doesn't love God, that doesn't know what God really is, that doesn't know the basics of serving God, and you
Mm,
later go into that person that doesn't have the fear of God, that if I beat this lady or if I do something wrong to this lady, I'm doing it to God, I'm doing it to myself. So you should not even near it.
good.
So
Thank you.
that's what I'm coming from. So that's the people I just want to come across, bring out that submission is not. I mean, love is not enough in the marriage, but compatibility bring us together for us to last longer.
Thank you so much, engineer. Okay, compatibility. And compatibility means alignment in different areas of life. Alignment in different areas of life. I want to share this. Do you know that it's interesting to know that many of the arranged marriages from back in the day, and even the ones that are happening right now, are more successful than marriages of people that just meet randomly. And you know why? Compatibility. In most cases, what people have done is they have checked out. They are more intentional. So, for instance, let me give you an example. So good. My sister Dio just spoke, right? If I want to introduce Dio to somebody, I would have checked the person out myself. Then I would know and say, oh, this is the kind of person Dio is. So many times, those arranged relationships and marriages work out well. It's not because it's not a random thing. It's because of the intentionality in aligning values, in aligning character traits and stuff that matter to them, family background, what they hold on to, aspiration. You are able to align and put those things together. So there's a meeting of minds. And that's why knowing before the knowing is, what areas have you guys met? Financially, are you on the same page? It's not about who earns more now, but financially, how do you handle money? I remember growing up, and my friend, my dad said that he'll say, my father would say, don't eat with all your hands. As Yoruba, that you don't eat with all your hands, meaning don't spend all that you have. Don't spend all that you have. Save. But some people, they live for today, and then tomorrow will take care of itself. I don't quote the Bible for that too. Forgetting that the same Bible says that nobody goes to war without counting the costs. So there has to be a meeting of minds in all these areas, and that's what Engineer Oke was talking about, compatibility. Are we compatible? Are we compatible? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right, Dami. Let's unmute the other two, one after the other.
Go to Shike Ademi.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I had to ask the permission of this person before coming to share this true life story.
Thank you.
There's one young lady that I know very well, and about 5 or so years ago, someone was introduced to her, and along the line, she saw all the red flags. If there's something that is, I don't know if this English is correct, redder than red. It was so the flags were fire. So along the line, she said she was not going to do again. And she told me, when she told me that she was not going to do again, I'm like, I will support whatever decision you're making. But I couldn't tell her, no, don't do it 100%. But I said, if you happen to be my blood, if you happen to be my daughter, I would never allow you to go into this.
Yes.
Okay, so about a few months later, she told me that she was going ahead with marriage. I said, are you 100% sure? She said the date has been fixed, blah, 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 blah. I said, a broken engagement is 100% better than a broken marriage. That once you sign this dotted line, if anything should change positively, that is good. But if eventually it didn't change, you will regret that day. She happened to be a daughter to a very prominent person in the state. So because of that, the people that were supposed to counsel her, they overlooked lots and lots of things. Like I said, the wedding wasn't redeemed standard, as far as I'm concerned. But she got married on the wedding day. All of us that were, even Daddy Gio was the one that blessed the marriage. Join online to bless the marriage for you to know how influential our parents were. On the wedding day, everybody there knew that something was wrong. The guy just did as if he was forced to do this marriage. They got married Sunday. The guy drove the wife back to her house. I'm sharing this for us that are not married to know that no matter who your parents are, if you disgrace your parents and you have peace, it's better than when she went into the marriage. Now the marriage has been like almost 2 years. They can count the number. If it was the pastor that asked the man, have you even slept with your wife? I deliberately did not use make love.
Exactly. Have they consummated this marriage?
Not until the pastor asked, before the guy knew that they were supposed to do that. And note that this guy needed the girl. There are some things I couldn't even say here. The guy needed the girl more than the girl needed the guy. And this guy did not even go to submit the wedding certificate. And for the girl to even help him to stabilize. And for Luca will know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk. So at the end of it all, as I'm talking to you now, the guy walks like Jack. The guy is still doing So why will you go into why will you go into a wedding?
Red flags.
In all the red flags. If I want to talk about all what is going on in that, in fact, my son even said if my daughter should bring somebody like the guy that is going to look for gun for the two of them. So now since they got married, they've not even stayed together up to 10 days.
In 2 years.
In 2 years, they live in the same state.
But they live
They are
apart.
not staying together. They live apart.
But they are married on paper.
Their own situationship is even so long.
This is work.
It is. I wish I could say the whole thing. And I hope one day I know she wants to talk about the situation. We are going to blind her. We won't do video. And she will talk to singles. I know she will want to do that.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to
know that. So singles, please. That our auntie, she's over 40. She's having the fun of her life. Now, like I do tell all singles now, anybody that goes into marriage in this generation, go to a wrong marriage, have him or herself to blame. Because see what is going on in the social. The church are talking a lot about, please don't mind the noise. The church are talking, even unbelievers are talking, believers are talking. You are reading, you are saying, please don't marry wrong. Don't settle for less.
Settle for less.
Some of us have things that we may talk about when we are ready.
Yes, at the right time.
Don't settle for less. That is why we have this forum. Please, and you know Auntie Flakkie door is always open. Even though your parents are forcing you into things, our parents were like, she has to go into it. Even when seeing all the red flags, everything that is wrong, the mother is still saying, you have to go, you have to try and do it. I'm like, I told the mother, do you want to? This girl has tried to commit suicide more than 3 times that I've saved her.
All because
her mother is like doing all because.
So in this situation,
okay, what are you enjoying the marriage?
There
is no money.
Yeah, there was.
You are not enjoying money. You are not enjoying love. There is no sex. He doesn't have a good job. He doesn't have anything. So why did you go into it? And you are now into it. And the guy with everything is still doing. When he sleeps, please, may the Lord help us all in Jesus' name. Thank you.
So thank you. And I look forward to talking with this young lady, and then we'll figure something out. But honestly, this example that she's given is actually someone that knew, but was not allowed to make that decision of not knowing. So she knew, she saw the red flags, she wanted to back off. But parents, please, parents on this platform and parents that you know, let's not push people into. Now, the parents themselves can't be happy. That's the truth. They can't be happy. I look forward to speaking with her, and I know that one way or the other, there'll be a solution. There'll be a solution. It's obvious from what she said. From the second day, drove her to her parents' house. How does that make sense? Stayed together for only 10 days since they've been married for 2 years. We have just a few more minutes to go. So please, let's have the last person speak. And then all our comments will be online after that. You can go to our IG page, you can go to our YouTube channel. Please put the comments there. Let us know, what you want to say. Thank you. All right, Dami, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to unmute Isoken now. And after there's just one point that I just want to, just one point, ma'am. Just one point.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. This has been great for me. And Flakkie, I always say you are a blessing to our generation. And generation doesn't mean just the youth that you lead. It's the older people, it's the parents. You are on a journey to ensure we all learn and reduce the amount of mistakes that are repeated over and over again. I just want to quickly, because I'm conscious of the time. I learned about submission being intentional and compatibility. Pastor Bimbo Odukoya of blessed memory was the one that taught us always that a broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. So when you hear some older people saying that, it's that she drummed it into our heads that even if you're on the way there and you feel you shouldn't, then don't. Now, a lot of people are under pressure, not even from their parents alone. With the story that we just heard before now, I sometimes wonder what made that guy agree. Was he bullied? Was he threatened? Was he bought? What made him agree? Because it seems like he agreed knowing very well that he was not going to do it in his fullness. We don't even know if he's straight. He might be gay. We don't know anything. The response is so bad, So there's always more to that story. And I pray that that girl will find the joy that God has created her to have. Because God has come to give us joy and joy abundantly, And that's why I said that that's not a red flag, that's a red country. So in my own personal life, because I'm an oversharer, I'm going to be very careful and try to not share too much. But I have been in a situation where I saw someone that had green flags, right? But at that time, I'm single still, just for a little while. I will be married soon. At that time, I had red flags myself. I hadn't yet sorted out. I was scared of marriage. I thought that I will not make a good wife. I had things that people had spoken negatively into my head that I was internalizing. Somebody talked about people introducing people to you. I have had people introduce people to me, but they introduce people to you based on their own values. So I remember I was introduced to some guy. He called me and he was laughing at me on the phone. I didn't know what was funny. He was just like, hi, And I was like, did the person that introduced us not know that this person is a joker? You know, what's funny? A joke is only good when both people understand it and it's funny. If not, somebody's just laughing at you, you know? So, so I was thinking about, I have so many experiences that I can practically write a book, but I did meet somebody who had green flags. But can you believe amongst the 16 reasons, why will anybody have 16 reasons why I couldn't be with this person? When he proposed, he was in my living room here. I felt nothing. I thought I would feel some little giz, nothing. And I took that as a red flag, but I didn't even give the person a chance to even know the person better. Because sometimes, as you get to know the person, when somebody talked about character, you know, they talked about intelligence, loving God. Those are not, I'm sorry to say, sexy characteristics to a lot of our youths, right? We're looking at other things. But guess what? We're not asking you to be bored. We're not asking you to just be laissez-faire, but we're asking you to be rooted in reality. Yes, you do want a man who respects you. Yes, you do want somebody with a sense of humor, you know? But when he asked, I had issues, so I couldn't see it. Fast forward a couple of years later, I met this other guy. I was determined to go forward with it. This guy had red countries, not one, multiple in different continents. But I said, no, you're too picky. You're too picky. You gotta, be sober and all that. I didn't reach out to Flakkie because I didn't want her to cancel me correctly. I wanted to do bad all by myself, right? And I was excited and I was getting carried away. You know, the people that introduced those good friends of mine, but again, with some, But anyway, this guy, I was excited. I even liked how short his last name was. That's how stupid I was. I was like, I like his short name. So when I change my name, I can dump my long name. And this is somebody in her early 50s being stupid, right? But compatibility. We were not compatible spiritually. I thought he had a great sense of humor, but I realized that a lot of his jokes were mocking. He talked down on women. He was just awful. But I was like, he's funny. I like this guy. Then, you know how God saved me? My sister. My sister is like a mother to me. She wants me to marry so badly, but because she knows the pressure will drive me cuckoo, she stopped pressurizing me. My sister was like, oh my God, you met someone. I'm excited. I'm excited. Send me his picture. My sister is very spiritual. As soon as I sent the picture, she was like, there's something about this guy. I purposely didn't tell her the red flags. I was telling her all the good things, right? So when she said that, my brakes, I screeched. I put on my brakes. It's as if I think she was praying on me. My eyes just cleared. And then I started to see the red flags. And I kept trying. But now I knew. So I knew if I went forward, it would just be that prayer of mercy, Lord, mercy. But I said, God, if I've been single to this stage, surely I deserve to be happy when I get married. Last resort, I carried it to my pastor. I said, see this guy. My pastor said, I'm not Yoruba. Like, where did you see this one? So last, I had to say, Uncle, sorry, I'm not doing. I want to marry so badly, but I'm not doing. So in the time since then, God has always blessed me. I've always been proposed to in every decade of my life. I said, God, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to, wait for you with expectation. I'm going to deal with my fears. And when you finally do it, Bible says everything God does is beautiful and no one can take from it or add to it. So that's it. God bless you. Flakkie, I love you. Mwah. Well, I see you, girl.
Oh my goodness. Thank God. Thank
How
God.
do I mute myself?
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Honestly, one of the things that you also need to have uh in your corner, definitely friends that can tell you the truth. So that even when you mess up, you're not ashamed to go to them and say, hey, I did this and they will uphold you. Because many times people are hiding, and I'm serious. So you're knowing, you're seeing the red flags, but because you are so neck deep in, like she was talking about, her whole mind, everything was in it, you just want to continue. But no matter how far you've gone, please know that you should, there's always a way out. There's always a way out of it. There's always a way to turn back. And that's what she just shared. I'm so thankful to God for every single person that has shared today. And for Rachel, who sent in her story too and said, you know what, Flakkie, share this. Encourage people on the platform. We've learned so much today about what we need to know before the knowing. What we need to know before the knowing. For many young people, and even some not so young people, it's just that pressure that is there. Like, oh, I just want to be there. I want to be with this person. Step back. Step back. When I speak with my teenager, I always tell them as I've prayed an alarm into your life. So that when you want to go and do the wrong thing, the alarm will begin to ring. You will ring and they will start laughing. But I'm serious. So maybe, even as an adult, as a young adult, as a mature adult that is looking into marriage, tell God to put that alarm in you and say, God, help me to know you, help me to know this person before I commit to the knowing. That's my roundoff on this today. I'm going to let Dami speak, and I look forward to seeing you next month by the grace of God. But please, definitely don't let this conversation end. Get on our pages on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, on IG, and let it continue. We're going to respond, and we just want people to know so that we have less broken lives. Thank you. God bless you all. Dami?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. I would say I was just sharing on our group. I was saying I think this is the best ever yet. I have not enjoyed myself this much. I'm not joking because I took so many notes, and I want to say thank you to everybody who had shared their experience. You two, you were taking notes. This is my own note here. I was really writing a whole lot, and thank you everybody who had shared. And please help us share this program more so that more people can benefit from this. One of the things that I feel like I haven't heard since morning that I wrote down, one of the bullet points is being appreciative, because you would know. I really thank God for the first person who spoke. I mean, that gave us that long list, and I was just doing mental check in my head, like, because my wife is not at home. I was like, I really wish she was here, and hopefully she'll be like, oh yeah, that means you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this.
You want that validation?
But this part, this being appreciative is really important. I mean, it's something that I am learning. I'm still very new to marriage. We're going to be 4 years this year. And I mean, it's one of the things that I would say that has really helped us, knowing how to appreciate one another is really important. And also for the story that you have shared, it's such a painful situation after 17 years. But the truth is that the red flags, they are always there. Almost every time whenever we have relationship or matter, let's talk about it, we used to say this particular point and we can overstate it. Always have somebody that you can report your partner to. I mean, that is not a member of their family, preferably not a member of their family, so that there will not be any element of bias. It is important. Not having such person is actually a red flag on its own. Not because, we will say something like, anyway, I'm coming. We will say something and say, when husband and wife, when they fight, they settle issue, but in-laws don't forget things. So that though you would always be there. So let having your husband, relating to his sister much more than you, that's a big red flag. And that thing would have been there. I don't know how she missed it, but I'm just so sorry that she has to go through that. And another one, because I wrote this one down. The person was asking the difference between privacy and what's it called. It depends on the context of what you're talking about. The context really, really, really matters. If what you're talking about and if it's regarding your future and the guy is keeping it, that's a red flag on its own, you know. But the Lord will help us. And I want to say thank you for you, Auntie Foluke. And I pray that your bank of wisdom will not run dry. Thank you so, so much for blessing our generation with, with this program. Thank you so much. So that's just my only two nugget. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much again, everybody. Give my final words already. And see you next month by God's grace. Please share. We're here. God bless you.
Please, if you're not following us on our social media platform, there you have it. That's our handles. Please do well to follow us. We would really, really appreciate a follow, like, and all like that on our Facebook and Instagram. And we can continue the conversation there. Thank you so, so much, everyone. And for our Facebook family as well. YouTube people, I mean, we've been having fun on YouTube. The comment has just been coming and flowing. Thank you all so much. God bless you all.